Wagwan. What's up? How you guys feeling? Welcome to another amazing episode of the Unspoken Podcast. My name is Awino Awiti. I'm the host of today, and this is episode 135. And remember, if you're watching this from YouTube, Nabado, who just subscribe, what are you doing? Do not subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, Unspoken Podcast KE and Awino Awiti. And today, I'm super excited. The guest I have for you today is a very good friend of mine. Kwanza tumetafutana yani Nairobi, guys are busy. People are in their bag. Nakwambia kama uko idol. Shida yako. So he's a really good friend of mine. He's a national hero. A national hero. He's a political activist. He's a journalist. He's a fashion enthusiast. Like he's a man who wears many capes. So Ademba, welcome to Unspoken.
Podcast episode
Unspoken
135.
Podcast, episode 135. Kwanze,
Niko fine,
long
thanks.
time no see, bro. Umepotea. Yani kijana ameshika pesa kidogo. Hai, atupumui Nairobi. Umepotea. Kukupata ni ngumu. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, lakini hiyo pesa labda unitumie.
Umesema hiyo pesa umeiona kwa view sasa.
Naiona kwa view sasa, si kwa ground vitu ni
Kwa
different.
gravity ni different. Na trust your stuff. But the kwaje,
Niko fine.
what's up? How is life? How is Ademba? Kwanza tuanzie, how are you by the way?
How is Ademba and how is life? But then those are two different things. Ademba is good, life is different.
Life is different.
Life is different. Okay, yeah. Contrary to what most people expect, ni wewe ndio unajijua. So what people see online, ni wewe unajijua. So yeah, life is kind of different.
Unaweza taka kujiintroduce to the Unspoken community ama nimekuintroduce vizuri?
Okay, I believe that to the people watching already wananijua, to the few who doesn't know me, sibiangi na ring, but it's okay. Okay, to the few wenye wanijui, I'm Ademba Allans, I'm a journalist, I'm also a fashion enthusiast. I'm an active citizen, not an activist.
Ooh, by the not
I'm
an
an
activist.
active citizen because I feel like the
Clock
moment
it.
you put an activist, then it becomes your profession. You expect to get money out of it, and then you are not going to do it because of being objective or anything else. You are going to be money motivated. So I'm a lot of things. I also host a podcast like you, mostly on politics, vitu kwa ground. Enye mi ni vitu mingi, hata
You see,
nimeshindwa kuzisema, sijazimaliza.
tumob, Mwanda.
Yeah, I'm a businessman, starting like mwenye anajaribu kugrow business wise. Yeah.
So thank you so much for honoring this invite. It's been a long time since maandamano tumetafutana na Ademba, you guys.
Maandamano ya last year
Ma-
actually, sio atizia.
tumetafutana. Finally, a year
Yeah.
later, we meet and life is different. In fact, I think to meet at the perfect time. A lot of things have happened. Now we got to sit down and talk about it.
Nilikuwa nakwambia off the camera that I'm the person who believe that good things takes time,
Yeah, true.
and I'm a believer in time. So if we meet 1 year after that, then it means it was meant.
It was meant to happen. So let's just start. Where does your story begin from, Ademba? Where were you born? How was your childhood like? How was life growing up? Like where does your story start from? I wanna know.
Swali ni refu naweza piga hadi kesho, but I'm
Bigger
gonna try
from
to shorten it.
mm,
So me, first of all, I'm raised in Kibera my whole life, but I was born in Homa Bay. But
okay.
my whole life mimi nimegrow Kibera. My aunt ndiye ameniraise. That's why naambianga watu mimi niko na two moms. My aunt raised me, my mom gave birth to me.
Okay,
So mimi I'm
understand.
raised in Kibera all along. Nimesoma Kibera. Actually, there's some part of it kidogo nilisoma Ushago, then nika transition to Kibera. Then the rest of it nimesoma Kibera until class 8. Then from 1 nika join, actually high school nimesoma shule tatu, 3 different high schools. So nilianza
Why?
mi nilikuwa kichwa ngumu.
Same.
Most of them ni because of suspension, by the way.
Suspension.
Only one was genuine. The first one ilikuwa shule into Elite Visionary High School. Actually, the transfers were all genuine, come to think of it. So nilitransfer because I got a scholarship 1 week after joining Elite Visionary High School. Nilitransfer because they wanted a government school, but that was a private one. So wakanipeleka Olympic. Then nikakaa Olympic for some time because it's a big institution. I don't want kuharibia jina, but niliona like what I wanted na hiyo iko na endana mostly academically. so zilikuwa zinaendana. I wrote a letter, nikakuwa transferred all the way to Siaya Rangala Boys, huko ndo nikasoma. From Rangala Boys nikafanya mistake ya kupita exam.
Ati mistake huko natoka kupita.
Yeah, nikafanya mistake ya kupita exam after like 3 or 4 suspensions. Nilikuwa form 4, I remember form 2 yote. When I was in form 4, the whole of term 2 nilikuwa home for suspension ya kusneak into a girls school.
Rangala girls.
Rangala Girls.
Nilijua.
Nilikuwa suspension for that. Nilistick in tuliingia Rangala Girls actually, na hiyo refu yangu yote tulivaa like ladies. Tuko high school,
Sure.
unajua nini ilitupeleka huko, we
Aye,
don't have to
high
get to
school
that.
kuna kuanga na
So
adole
nikarudi,
tu.
actually nikarudi after that suspension, nikakuwa number 8 out of 206 students. So me, I was bright by the
Damn.
way. Nikafanya hiyo mistake, tukamaliza, nikapita vizuri, nikapita form 4, nilipita vizuri, not that vizuri sana but nilijaribu. So nikaenda nikafanya journalism. I'm still doing it. Sijui sijui kitu nasoma shule for the past 5 years, because hiyo course inachukuanga 2.5
4
years.
years.
No, ukuwe MKU ni 2.5 years,
Walai,
because
no.
people do try semester. But mimi nimesoma MKU for the past 5 years, niko hiyo shule like last
Mbona
year
me-
yote sijakanyaga shule.
unadifa wendi shughuli ni mob.
Mimi, I usually believe that it's something that I've come to notice. Most of the people who usually like spend their 100% time dedicated to masomo wanakuwa na shida when they get outside. Not that mimi nafanya vizuri, but naongelea like most people like me, kama unatoka from the poor background, siongelei wenye wako kwa rich backgrounds. Most people who come from the poor background like me, when we dedicate 100% of our time in studying, especially in university, where we say that nilikuja hii shule kusoma and nothing else, when we get outside huwa tunaumia. Because I've been in MKU for the past 5 years. Hii mwaka hata sijakanyaga shule, I can't lie. But most people who came after me, and the most people who we joined with, wali graduate na wakaenda. And I can tell you like only 3% ndo wako shule. Wako jobs. Those who are employed in like 3%. And they are not ni field yenye hawezi taka kukua. Unaelewa? I'm not saying that I'm doing well, mimi personally, but naweza jaribu kufanya 1 to 1 to ni survive, because pia nimefanya a lot of the works hapa katikati, so mimi ninajua kuhustle. Kama si media, most people wakienda kusoma media wanasema ni media pekee, but mimi najua unaweza fanya any other job. Mimi sasa hata because nimefanya mjengo, I don't know kama nimekwambia hiyo, for 2 years. For 2 years actually. There's a estate in Lang'ata on your way to Phenom inaitwa Ashoka. Nimefanya mjengo hapo from wakati ilikuwa ground, venye mnaendanga mnapata uwanja imebaiwa, tukatoa from ground up kuchimba foundation. Kuchimba foundation mpaka sahii ikakuwa complete. Like nimefanya mjengo all that long. Like in Nairobi, that's why najua pass mingi za Nairobi. So that's for 2 years. Nimeuza samaki for some time, nimeuza manguo denim mostly and trench coats, and nimeuza into aje mayai for a couple, like the essence of that is najua kusurvive compared to somebody mwenye aneka hopes kwa masomo.
Basically you have to be street smart.
You have to be street smart, but compared to somebody who has put all in hopes in masomo, if it doesn't go well, hao ndo wanakuwa na a lot of depressions. Mimi say if what I'm not doing in the media doesn't work out,
you have something to fall back into.
I'm telling you, naenda kuuza samaki because I know how beneficial that business is. Na mimi I don't work with shame. Mimi hata mnifanyie public shaming, I know what I want.
But you're in your bag at the end of the day.
Because vitu mingi nimefanya. Mimi hata utanipata mahali nakaa nasaidia mtu kuuza. Mtu anaanza sijui anakuja, but I'm there because I know utapata pesa kwa kukua sijui decent.
I love that. The grind. The grind. Stay on the grind.
Na baadaye napanga kurudi kuuza samaki because
Rudi, kwani kwa nini?
I know,
like as long as you
in another different level sasa. Yeah.
Wholesale. I'm a large scale.
It will just work out.
It will work out. I love it. The grind, be book smart and street smart at the same time. But take me back to growing up in Kibera. How was it? As Kibera is like the most famous slum in Kenya, Sindo?
I think in Africa.
In Africa,
after
right?
Soweto.
After Soweto.
But Soweto nowadays, compared to Kibera, is not mostly a slum.
It's like the most famous. Even me, I didn't even grow up in Nairobi, but I know about Kibera.
Kibera is I think it's
the
famous
biggest and the most famous. So how was it growing up in Kibera? How was life growing up in Kibera? Just tuko nasikia ma story, tunasoma tu Kibera kwa kitabu, tunasikia story, tunasikia kuna kitu kama flying toilets. Is it true?
Mimi, I'm one of the most proud people to come from Kibera, na mimi hata niende wapi, hata nikuwe kwa meeting na which embassy, nitasema nimetoka Kibera,
Yeah,
because
it's
that
nice
is
to
me
own where you
and
come
that is
from.
where I come from.
Yeah.
So whatever, another thing, everything you hear about Kibera is true. Mimi nasemanga hivyo, most people wanajaribu kusema nini, hizo flying toilets ni ukweli, they are 100% true, but not for now. Kitambo sahi Kibera I think is one of the most developing slums in Kenya. Actually,
Yeah.
ukiangalia Kibera, the other day I was in Mkuru, and Kibera is doing way much better than all those other slums. Sisemi sababu ya affordable housing yenye inafanyika Kibera vibaya sana affordable housing, but hata before those came, I think Kibera, tukiangalia everything, feeder roads, schools, nini, Kibera is doing good, but we still at because poverty is poverty, doing away with it ni ngumu, but generally Kibera is doing good. But everything you hear about Kibera ni equal, that is drugs, crime, hizo flying toilets, vitu kama drainage, water and sanitation, hizo vitu ni kweli. I remember tukua class 6, nakumbuka hii because ilifanyika tukiwa wawili when I was in class 6, a school called Magoso Primary. Hapo ndo nilimaliza class 8. Tulikuwa na friend of mine sitaki kumention apenangi media, so yeah, but
okay.
tulikuwa tunaenda shule. Then so you know how you usually go to school, viatu mmebrush nini, then there was a certain corridor opposite it, kulikuwa na community hall ilikuwa inaitwa Sidarek. So nikakanyaga kitu, then nikasikia like imespill. You know how maji spills when it's nini, so nikasikia imespill kwa mgusu. Unajua tunavaa short, then utasikia tu if something drops on your feet. So nikasimu ni maji or anything, only kufika shule unaangalia hivi, ilikuwa shonde. So yeah, everything is like mtu alijisaidia kwa karatasi then akatupa hapo. So everything we hear about Kibera is true. Poverty is there, especially drugs, na sahi drugs kwanza venye tuna face new forms of drugs,
ziko zote huko.
heroin zimeingia, sijui nini, hizi injectables za kumeza, sahi ziko zote, but it calls for an individual or you some level of awareness to come out positive. Wacha niseme to come out the way I came, because okay, mimi I don't do drugs, apart from a little bit of pombe na cocktail.
Yes.
I don't, mimi hata sijai, honestly in my whole life I've never even smoked bang, and people around me wanauza, they smoke, but mimi sijai. I hate hata smell ya cigarette, but it takes a little bit of self-awareness and proper upbringing, because mimi I was brought up vizuri.
Also, but they never affected you. You're never influenced by that's why I'm asking, how's life growing up in that environment?
You've never influenced. Wewe unanijua hata mi hata siwezi smoke, hata I don't know, I can, okay, wanaitanga passive smokers, you're all passive
Passive,
smokers, yeah, but mimi siwezi, no, I'm not.
So how was a day in the life in Kibra?
A day in the
You're
life,
going to umesema into what school?
Magoso.
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 Magoso. How a day in the life? Take me through a day in the life as a young person living in Kibera. You're going to school. How was it? Paint a picture.
My aunt alikuwa anauza fish. Wacha tuanze from hapo. That's why niko na hiyo passion ya kuuza samaki. That's why mi nasema no matter what, I will one day go back to kuuza hiyo, because I know how lucrative it is. So naanza na hiyo because it it took the bigger part of my day, because when a parent is doing a business, especially easy hand to mouth businesses, you have to chip in kusaidia. So unapata you are doing, unaenda shule, after shule you come back, because primary si watu funga around saa 9, saa 10, saa 11, depending na class huko, maybe wengine utoka late 12, ati 12, saa 12 jioni. So narudi nasaidia mother kuuza fish and everything. Actually another thing nasema ni mimi si kuanga na time ya kucheza, because from school to kusaidia mzazi, and that's why watu shangaa that mimi actually I don't know, sijuangi kufanya a lot of things yenye watu wanafaa wajue at your childhood. I'm the only person mwenye I'm 25 right now na mimi sijui kuendesha baiskeli jamani.
Usiseme kwa nguvu.
Sijui kuswim. Sijui kuswim. But that's mostly because of how I was brought up. Tulikuwa brought up na those parents wenye they believe in one thing, that is education. So kama simsaidii uko kwa nyumba nasoma, but ilinisaidia because nilipita pia primary. Nilipita vizuri actually. Very very nini. Si ndio tulikuwa wale among top. Tulikuwa among wale top students. Nilikuwa na over 400.
Hiyo na bora over 400 pass.
Nilipita vizuri, and I was very proud. So yeah, that's how I think. I don't know how to summarize a life in a day.
In the life.
A day,
Jioni ukitoka umesema jioni pia
nilikuwa narudi kusaidiana kuuza fish.
homework unafanya saa ngapi?
Most nilikuwa naifanya shule, but pia nilikuwa nimesha learn kulala late, because meaning kuuza hiyo samaki mtatoka kwa barabara around saa 4. Kama kuna homework mtaifanya. Alafu I don't know, sikuwa na pressure kufanya the homeworks by the way, but I usually used to do them. But that was it. It was either uko school unakuja kuuza samaki na vitu kama hiyo. Saturdays maybe ndio ulikuwa unaweza pata time usneak uende uone those. Hiyo wakati kulikuwa na movie
Muenda
videos,
kwa
mahali pa
hizo
kuona movie, kulipa 5 bob then you watch nini nini ya. Ama kama si yo, you just walk. Mjua Kibera ni kubwa, alafu mjua ukuwa mdogo unaweza tembea kilometers and kilometers and kilometers. So I think those were sources of the entertainment, and maybe just hanging around. Actually from that time hadi sahi developed 6 or 5 friends wenye bado niko nao hadi sahi. So life yetu iko ina revolve around the same thing. Actually the people that tunafanya now that fashion thing inasema,
Ah,
the 6 of them, like tulipatana from
Kibra.
childhood hadi sahi.
That's nice. Who was like your biggest influence growing up? You're gonna grow up Kibra unasema, mimi nataka one day.
Everybody knows him. Anaitwa this guy, jina Mohamed, the current mtu wa Ruto wa kusaidia
Muhammad Ali.
no 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 no,
Eh,
the other Mohamed huyo mwenye alikuwa journalist Citizen,
Hussein Mohamed.
Hussein Mohamed, yeah,
Oh.
actually influenced me kujoin kufanya
Journalism.
yeah. Huyo jamaa alikuwa anaongea vizuri, and alafu mjua kuwa kwa hizo wazazi news ilikuwa a big thing,
Saa moja kila mtu anawatch
so
news.
Hussein Mohamed was a very
Oh,
big
Hussein
influence,
Mohamed.
and Dr. Pizza.
Juu anatoka Kibra alimake it namba 8.
And mostly venye Octopus is as a person apart from the music, somebody mwenye anajua kujikari out nini, packaging and everything.
So can you say like being a journalist, how did it come about? Umesema Hussein Mohamed ndiye he's the one who like influenced you, but how did you always want to become a journalist growing
I
up
always wanted
from primary?
I think from primary, yeah. Primary I was in the debate club, which na journalism sinajua zinaenda na hivi.
Yeah.
Then I transitioned to shule ndwaje. Then I transitioned to Elite, but then hiyo shule nilisoma 1 week. 1 week.
What happened?
1 week.
Eh,
No, story ni mingi.
okay.
Then ndo nikaenda Olympic. Then Olympic I also joined journalism club. Alafu after Olympic Olympic I joined debate club, not journalism club. Tukafanya, then I transition to Rangala Boys, obvious. So after Rangala Boys hapo ndo niingia journalism club. Alafu you know what we usually do, tukua huko just collecting vitu zimefanyika shule, going around kuziparade on Friday, kuzisoma. Then how journalism came. Then it actually came now kuchagua course after high school, because I knew what I wanted all along. See, KUSIPs give you those nini.
Yeah.
So you know journalism is broad. Mi nilikuwa nataka kufanya anything related to journalism, but I only knew that nilikuwa nataka kufanya
Broadcast journalism.
So everything I chose was just related around journalism. Choose journalism, nikakuja nikachoose I think film, like alafu njua gossips they put around things, so like everything was just around journalism. Then I think the last one niliput niliekanga urban development, hata sijui na deal na nini, just to feel this. So you usually choose sijui ni 4 or 3
Tatu
courses,
ya kwanza sijui tatu
yeah. So that's how I did it.
You always wanted to be a
I
journalist.
always want to be a
And
journalist.
at home, like you didn't get any backlash from maybe your auntie. Yanasema si tuna busy yenye mnajua sisi ni hii ya samaki.
Another thing, when coming to choose the course, so nilikuwa nisha transition na ishi na my mom. My aunt alienda ushago. Another part sijakwambia ni mimi nimeanza kujisupport when I was in form 3, like supporting myself, like
School fee?
No, school fees nilikuwa nalipwa na scholarship. But apart from scholarship, everything I was doing on my own. So wakanifanyia, and it turned out
You wanted to be a broadcast journalist. But then I remember there was a time also I wanted to be a broadcast. I wanted to be a journalist by the that's what I wanted to study. But my dad was like, wewe na hii kazi yako ya uko sure na hii journalism. My dad was like, do at least. My dad is like those parents who they know the only lucrative jobs they know ni like teaching, nursing, hizi vitu za government job. So my dad was so worried that you want to be a journalist. Ati because he was giving me a typical example. Ati unaona hao kina Swale Mdoe
Swale Mdoe,
kina the likes of
40
kina
years
Lianui
amekuwa.
wamekuwa kwa TV, tumekuwa kiwote. Sasa wewe huyo journalism yako utapeleka. So I was so worried that I was not gonna, if I get to study journalism, I was not gonna get an employment, especially in this country of ours. Just the same people we have been watching for years are still the same people, are still there on the screen. So did that ever occur to you? Were you always worried that did you ever have doubts at journalism itanipeleka wapi? Am I gonna get employment? Did you ever have doubts?
Okay, the first time I joined kufanya journalism MKU, I think nilikuwa na the notion that everybody has utamaliza shule upate kazi, which okay, in some part a bigger percentage of it bado niko nayo, because lazima utafute pesa,
True.
and if you get job
Mm.
lazima utafanya, si
Tafuta.
ndio? But I think where people go wrong these days is how to analyze some courses that we do. For a course like journalism, if we say that we are still going to stick to kupata kazi Citizen, kupata kazi NTV, kupata kazi KTN, and maybe those other city media stations that we have, then that's where we go wrong. Right now, you can start your own media na vitu kama hizo. And journalism, I'm saying this in a way that journalism sahi, I think is the most easiest profession for you to create niseme kazi for yourself. Najua zingine ni mingi. Sahi you are doing a podcast. That's journalism. Because you bado ulienda ukafanya film na vitu kaa hizo. Mimi am doing podcast. That is journalism. And tumekuwa kwa era social media. Where you just need your your iPhone and maybe microphone kiasi, but kama una unaweza anza from scratch. So journalism for mimi nilijua iko na hindrance, inaweza kuwa na backlash of how it's going to turn out. But it never sijui, because hata baadaye sijaifanya kazi, mimi sijaiandikwa kazi kwa media house, so sijui venye ta turn out, but mimi bado niko na believe that we don't have to wait to be employed, we can create employments ourselves. And that's why apart from journalism I'm doing other things. No, nikwambia mimi I don't depend 100% on the schooling. We go to school according to me, we go to school mostly to gain insights and to gain knowledge and to gain exposure on a lot of things. And that's why I feel like people go wrong when they spend 90% or 100% of their time in school not knowing what is going outside school. Your life, you only know this unit, but you don't know what goes outside beyond the school. So I think that's where we go wrong.
Okay, 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 okay. So haya, tutoke kwa tushajua penye Ademba ametoka. We already know you always wanted to be a journalist. Let's go back to now, tumefika 2024, tushatoka kwa childhood yako. Now
Tuko kwa street.
twende kwa street sasa. The first maandamano, when was the first 18th
18th of
June
June
18th of June
last year.
2024. So the country is there, social media activism ifanyika. You guys, we have decided now 18th of June we are heading to the streets. What was going on in Ademba's mind? And ukasema, me, I'm going to the streets. What was your first thought? What made you go to the streets on that day?
Most people usually go wrong when they think that I started activism, Mama,
Activism
being an active
last year,
citizen
okay.
last year. No, actually last year is a good part of it, but it's only that I was not in the mainstream. When you're doing activism, I've been a member of Amnesty International. This is my third year a member of Amnesty International. And what does Amnesty do? They fight for human rights. They champion for human rights. So that's already tells you that I was already somehow I was an activist. Actually, I was an activist. I'm an active student, active Kenyan. Because once you are a member of Amnesty International, then that means that you stand for something. You stand for human rights, and you stand to defend human rights. And that's now come 2024. Everybody was in the street fighting for the finance bill to be abolished. I joined just like any other Kenyans, but mostly I joined as a journalist to record and to store these videos, to go and maybe if an opportunity present itself, utasema this is what I've been doing, because journalism, that's how you siku hizi nauliza umekuwa ukifanya nini, this is what I've been doing. So that was my main goal, but also to stand, because before I was a journalist, I was a Kenyan, and I believe in Kenya. So I believe in Kenya until today, and some years to come. So I was in the street as a journalist, and I was in the street as an active Kenyan. That's why I tell you, I don't want to call myself an activist.
Active citizen.
Active citizen. Ukisema activist, umeweka profession, I expect to live well like most of the people that we see on the mainstream ama huku nje. So mimi, being on the street, I was there, but I never expected everything to unfold the way it unfolded, honestly speaking, because I was there on June 26th, June 18th, then transition to June 20th, then June 25th. Actually, nakumbuka hizo dates vizuri. For June 20th, the June 18th is when we lost Rex, right?
The first day of protest.
No, June 20th is when we lost Rex Masai. Then vitu zikaendelea, siwezi kumbuka, siwezi sema it was that, siko sure. I think it was June 20th. Pia time imeenda, 1 year ni refu.
Yeah, it's been a year.
Means Miguna wa keep all those receipts. So that's when we lost Rex Masai, and now everybody was rage baited. Kila mtu alikuwa na hasira. Anataka kujua what is going on. So mimi tena nikatokea kwa street after June 20th. Now ready to record, and happen to everything ikakuwa sasa serious.
All hell broke
That was
loose.
not like
so tuko tu hapo. So you started, the main goal, you went there as a journalist
Was
to
to record.
record.
Yeah.
At what point did that change? Because we now started seeing you in the front lines, and then mandamano sasa kumewaka, like ni kubaya, people are so, they started now killing people, the protests sasa, there was a lot of tension. At what point did that change, that I'm not going only as a journalist, I'm going because like this is something I stand for?
Until 8 in the morning on June 25th, I went there as a journalist. But around 8:20, 8:30, nilikuwa nimetoka huko chini RNG Plaza. Nilikuwa nimeenda kuchukua power bank because pia tulikuwa natumia simu ku live stream from a lady alikuwa ameniletea power bank. Then nakuja tumepita RNG Plaza tumepita. Then kuna hiyo Naivas iko Moi Avenue. So nilikuwa naenda hivyo. Nilikuwa hiyo kwenye gari za Rongai huwa zinakuwa then huko. Then if you watch closely there's a video of me hapa nikipigwanga kwa street nikijaribu kuingizwa kwa gari nikakataa. So hapo actually asira nilifanya ni change from a journalist to now hata mimi niko ndani ya hii kitu and do whatever you want to do with it. So polisi walinipiga, there were actually 11 police walikuwa jaribu kuniingiza kwa hiyo lori but
I saw that
nikakataa.
video, yeah.
It was a struggle to a point that citizens wakakuja kunisaidia, wakarusha mawe nini wakaniachilia. So I was very mad on why these people were roughing me up, on why these people were beating me up. I'm a journalist, I have my badge literally hanging on my neck. I have everything, hata kwa bag yangu yenye kwa naguza they can feel there kuna equipment hapo, and at the same time I'm telling them I'm a journalist. But upon realization that they had made a mistake and cameras were there, now they wanted a way that to do away the story, ndio waseme wewe alikuwa tu kwa maandamano, so maybe wanishika niingize ndani. So venye tulipigana nikamanage kutoroka nikaenda, so people say nini watu wana celebrate kukutoa. So tukapitia hiyo njia ya chini, I think Ronald Ngalas kumbuka chini ya hiyo Moi Avenue, hiyo njia ya kuingia Ludhuli, tukarudi hivyo tukatokea Archives now. Sasa tukirudi Archives kulikuwa na place Ambassador kwenye watu chukulia gari, no Kencom, kwenye watu chukulia gari za Kibera, Kawangware nini. There's a lady alikuwa hit na tear gas canister, kichwa ikapasuka. Then unajua hizo zina pile up the emotions. Why are they doing this? All of a sudden mimi nilikuwa I'm a protester, I'm a journalist, I'm a Kenyan. That's where everything changed.
But were you ever scared? Because I feel like there was a point now, it was like there was a point now, umefika wewe ni Mkenya, you're supposed to go on the streets on that morning, you're not even sure if you're gonna make it back home, because now they're killing people, the government has instilled fear, because the police are using brutal force. Were you ever scared? Did it ever cross your mind that hey, leo naweza fika huko streets lakini hey, sijui kama nita make it back home? And if you are scared, what was driving you to still go back to the streets consistently?
Okay,
Were you ever scared let's start there. Were you ever scared?
I usually tell these people, everybody who asks me that question, I usually tell them that nobody, even the police themselves, the military, everybody, nobody is immune to the bullet. When the bullet is fired, it can catch anybody and gun you down na ukufe. So I was scared, of course, like just any other person. There's a journalist, a photojournalist, friend of mine, tulikuwa na yeye hapa. Tulikuwa naye kwa street, like ukuna tell that we were afraid because after what happened to her, ilibidi ajifiche chini ya gari, and those kidogo kidogo now watu wanaingia parliament, unakumbuka? Na watu walikufa ndani ya watu walikufa in front of the parliament, nakumbuka. So there's no way that somebody, mimi sikuwa mwoga. Bro, I was scared. I was afraid of my life. But what kept us going back was, okay, we have to fight for our country. Naambianga watu hii kitu, sisi ni I'm 25, I don't know how old you are, but we are all below 30, si ndio? So 30 years to come ndio tutakuwa maybe around 50, 60. Maybe hata wengine wetu watakuwa tumefika hapo. And that's when our children watakuwa shule, high school, primary nini. So our politicians wanatunyanyasa sasa hii, the likes of akina Raila, the likes of akina Ruto, the likes of everybody, akina Kindiki. Sad to say, but most of them watakuwa washakufa 30 years to come.
Yeah.
So the future we are fighting for is not for them. We are fighting for our future.
And
the sad thing is, our watu washa create a future to maybe their fourth generation to come. So as we are fighting for our future, 20 years to come, huwezi taka mtoto wako akose school fee ya kwenda shule. That's why I was very mad yesterday tuko huko kwa uwanja tukiona ball Kenya versus Zambia. Now just because Kenya imescore, which is a very plus for us, we are very happy. Unasikia watu wameanza kushout two term to who? Fuck two term, fuck Ruto.
Like, guys.
Yeah. So like nakwambia, this person that you are here fighting for, and this person is the one that is making your life miserable, this person, because hata leo nimepita nikitoka Kasarani nikuja hivi nimepata mvua inanyesha, but kuna wase sikizwa na I think ni kazi mtani, au wananyeshewa wanakata nyasi
Hawako
na alafu
job.
wanaenda kulipwa 500. For you hiyo 500 itaonekana kama job,
Mm.
but piga hesabu, how long will it sustain you? Now we are fighting for your future, but unaona bado utakuja useme two term. And Ruto ni wise in a way that amefanya people awaoni the sahi, ameanza ku dilute the minds of people.
Nasikia watu wanasema kulikuwa na meme fulani ati
Yeah.
naona mmerudia na president wenu.
Mmerudia na president wenu, watu wako okay, watu wako state house. Watu walikuwa state house, watu walipewa by the bikes, the motorbikes. And I have to say this, there's a friend of mine anakaa Kibera, aliniambia alipewa motorbike. Those they aliona because jaenda Kibera of late, but aliambiwa ako na bike na aliona. So unapata anafanya these small things. Kupewa motorbike is not a small thing because motorbikes are expensive, ndo ni which is a good thing. But unapata the guy mwenye alipewa is a very good friend of mine, so I know him very well. Anakuanga close to politicians, so only those who are the close circle ndo wana benefit, not the actual Kenyan. So ukipewa bike is not that everybody ame benefit, na kuna watu wengi sana. We are the 75% of this Kenyan population are youths, if you piga hesabu vizuri. Sida mko high school ama you are transitioning to the youth now that you are over 18. Piga hesabu 20 years to come, huu Raila mnapigania atakuwa ina position kuwasaidia. This guy amekuwa akitengeneza wealth all their life. His father was in the nini, but
The
ametusaidia.
government.
But pia nasemanga ametusaidia through a lot of things,
kuna
multi-party, nini, the 2010 constitution, but whatever is doing right now is not good.
hata venye umesema po like venye ichani inaendelea, people have forgotten where
Wanaanza
we come
kusahau.
from,
And that get me mad.
what we fought for.
Yeah.
So my question is, has there been a significant change with this protest, ama next year tena June same place same time tutakuwa tena reject again
But
tena tutarudi tena streets? Are we gonna go back to the streets again next year?
but wacha nikwambie one thing, though it seems like a contradictory message because nakwanga kwa frontline for the protest, but I don't like the protest. Why? Each and every protest we lose over 20 or 30
we lose
people. Nini ya.
lives. Businesses are destroyed. Businesses are destroyed.
Businesses are destroyed. If you follow closely, Babu Wino is still fighting to toa wenye walishikwa kwa protest. Kuna wenye bado wako hapa Kahawa.
For real.
Yeah, ATPU hapa Kahawa. Until now bado wameshikwa. Na wacha wenye wameshikwa, at least tuko na hopes watarudi home because of the law procedure. What about wenye walikufa?
What about them?
So
did their death even mean something?
so mimi siwezi, I can't say that okay, June 25th next year tuendeni kwa street. No, siwezi sema that. It's a good thing people going to the street like every year. It's up to the government to know that manze imetosha, let's do what these people want, because every time we go in the street we lose people. And it's sad that at the end of the day some people came out as beneficiary of people's blood, like the broad-based government right now, nini. And sad to say, hata some of the activists, they come out as beneficiary of these people's blood. Yeah.
So let's say you are the government. We are dealing with our generation, our Gen Z generation, which is a very woke generation.
Very woke.
They know, they are learned. What of free primary education?
Yeah.
We are like, our generation is so woke. We are so learned. We never forget. We use social media. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
What if you are the government? What would you have done? Like, what would you recommend the government to do with this, with the things that we are demanding, like to avoid? Like wangefanya nini to avoid all this bloodbath that happened? What was the best
It's
solution?
just simple, listening to your people. Because remember last year we lost 9 to 10 people. The number that we accounted for was around 9. Mbele ya parliament, sisemi across Kenya. There were over 60 last year if you follow Amnesty report. So people were fighting for finance bill. Waachane na finance bill. Not because the finance bill is a bad thing, but because that specific finance bill was oppressive. Haikuwa ina cater for the normal Kenyan, the normal mwananchi. So you see, these people are just fighting for a mere I know finance bill is a big thing, but the government could have just come to a point of realization that these people are fighting for this finance bill. Let us drop it. It was dropped after people wamekufa. Sadly. And if you hear people like Murkomen wakirudi wakise, not I don't know why I hate Murkomen to the point that I mistake him for other things. This other guy, kuna mwenye alikuja akasema ati finance bill bado ilipitishwa. It's just like
like
laughing
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 at
at
like you
us,
did
unaelewa.
nothing all.
Najaribu kukumbuka jina yake because ninapendanga kumshema. Mbona akina Ishungwa,
Oh,
yeah, wakikuja kusema ati tulipitisha either way, mtafanya
so
nini,
mtadu
mtadu.
like we meant nothing.
Remember,
The
people died
lives,
for this
we
thing.
lost, we
We lost
lost
people,
lives.
yeah. So hey maze, it's just about listening to your people. And I can't say that we have the, because we have 2010 constitution which give us the best form of government, that is democracy na vitu kama hizo, na tulikuwa na democracy kutoka kitambo. But we need to find a way of making sure that the constitution actually works. If Because it says that the people have the power, and the power that the people hold is stronger than the people in power. If you get the statement correct,
True, true,
the
true.
power that people hold is stronger than the power that people in power hold, according to the Kenyan constitution. That is actually Article 1. The people shall, the people must, those who want a relative.
Like
So
the power of the people is stronger than the people in power.
exactly, the power of the people is stronger than the people in power. So just listen to your people instead of killing them, actually, instead of abducting them, instead of, hey, because I know a lot of people in abducted and they usually talk to them. Some people have never healed.
Mentally,
Because hata before nikuja hapa, I was with one of them. Those people don't heal.
you never heal from such thing. And my biggest fear is I'm so scared for our country. Like I don't want us again next year June. We are back in the same place. I don't know
That's
what
what I'm
can be
saying.
done. Yeah, that's my biggest fear. Ati sasa tushaandamana, sasa itakuwa tu June, si tunaandamana, watu wana dedi, mabiashara zinaribika, and then we go back to our normal lives,
And
and then
trust
next year
me,
June again the same tension. Like where are we going as a
And trust
country?
me, I know the finance business inakwanga mbaya, and it might sound bad coming from me, because nimekwambia always nakwanga in the front line kwa hizo maandamano, because when we're fighting for something that I believe in, nitakuwa hapo mbele. But most people who usually front this maandamano kupita huko nje wanakwanga activists, si ndio? And most of these activists are usually beneficiary of these people's blood. Wana benefit when these people die.
For
So
real.
some of them, hata they don't have the people's nini
Interest
at
at heart.
heart, interest at heart.
Wow. By
They're
the
just there for the
way.
monetary and people to benefit the organizations. It's really sad to say that, but okay, because hata mimi there's a point nilichangiwa na watu, which it does sound contradictory because how Kenyans usually come, but nimekam kurealize, because I've been there, most people usually benefit, and mostly they are the big people that usually you've been praising all along. So mimi sisema, oh, let's go back again to the street.
Yeah.
If the finance bill yenye imeletwa ina work, wacha tufanye kazi now. If it doesn't work, then okay, let us find a way. But I'm just praying that people wasikufe in the middle.
In the midst, because that's my biggest fear. So Gen Z, it's basically, you can say Gen Z led this revolution.
Exactly,
Yeah.
100%.
Gen Z led this revolution, and then sasa sahi sijui tuseme tu let's just wait for 2027 tupatane kwa ballot.
No, 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 no.
We,
That's the wrong take again.
that's bad. Yeah, that's why I'm
That's
asking.
bad.
What are we left to do? What more can we do as citizens, as Gen Z? What more can we do? That's my questions.
Inaweza kuja to a point that we can just use online activism, and we can just address things and as they are. And if it calls now for people going to the street, ikiwe ikikataa, then let's do that.
Because me, I feel like we have gone to the streets. We have people are dying, and I'm so you sorry, it's like, is it even now? Like, just how people are dying. The worst part is that people have to die for it to work. So what else? What can we do? Online activism. What else?
actually, online activism, alafu shida na online activism ni the people tuna fight through online activism ni wazee. They don't pay attention to social media. Trust me, hata some of them hawako social media. And unasikianga wakienda kwa rallies wanasema wale watoto wa social media nini nini. So that's another sad thing, part of it, because they only understand mkwenda kwa street ndio najua kuna maandamano. Ni wenye tunapiga vita ni wenye wamegrow during maandamano za kina Raila. So the only language they understand ni streets, na sisi tunajaribu kufind a way ya kupigana online. So sad to say they don't listen to us, but it should not say that we have to relent. Man, we have to keep the fight. Kenya is not going to change anytime soon, and we have to fight for that, because the people we have, they are the people in power. So watajifanya tu resign.
Another big worry I have is, of course, as Gen Z, we're gonna say we're gonna do online activism, but then at the end of the day, is 2027 gonna be the same? Are we gonna have the same things again? I feel like, so nilikuwa na watch interview fulani hapa, a certain MP was saying, as much as us the young people, we have the right intentions for our country, but again I feel like we have not done the due diligence, hatujafanya part yetu juu sahii nasikia ati political campaigns for 2027 have already started. People
They
have already,
started last year.
they've already started. People already have parties in place. And then, but that now, as Gen Z, the young generation, is there a party? Is like there's no party, there's no unity, there's no like process like there's no hakuna mikakati imepangwa for 2027. I feel like the only option, that's what I was asking, the only option we have is waiting for the ballot. Juu sioni any active young people kwa ground wakisema but they already have this party 2027, we have hizi mikakati zimefanyika, because at the end of the day, that's all. That's the change, the change we want is there, is us, like kwa nini kwa
Okay,
ballot.
the only unity that the Kenyan Savama, the Gen Z have right now is the hashtag Ruto must go. That's the only unity tuko nayo. And if we find a way of capitalizing on that unity, inaweza tusaidia.
We really need to.
But let's go back to what washaanza kufanya campaign, which is very sad. We have 2 years to deliver to Kenyans, but we're already doing campaigns. Alafu, don't forget the fact that we have over 19, I think 19 to be exact, 19 by elections zenye zinakuja. That is MCAs, MPs, senators, yeah, mostly that, and women rep. I don't think kama kuna women rep by elections, but at least 19 by elections zinakuja. And you can see the change of scope in things, how it is going to happen, that unadhani it's a national thing. So if you are keen on these politicians, attention zao zote ziko on this by elections. And I'm bringing this point because I also want the younger generation to be on this by elections.
Yeah.
And tupiganie hiyo kiti, unaweza pata you serve for the rest of the 2 years.
We need to be there.
And now I have to say this, 2027 is going to be a bombshell for the older political class, because Gen Zs are going to change the narrative and they are going to challenge the status quo. Why am I saying this? Come 2027, we are going to be at least 18 million registered young voters. And I don't expect all the 18 million young voters to be on the ballot, because tunakuwa na spoiled vote and some people usually don't turn up for these elections or these votings. So we have to find a way of changing their mindsets again to vote. They know that hii vote yako itachange your life, and hii vote yako itachange life ya mtoto wako. So come 2027, we are going to have at least 18 million registered young people. That makes like 75% of the Kenyan population. And remember, the president of Kenya hata akufikishanga 8 million, akufikisha hata 10 million. Na sasa tunaongelea 15, 18 million. Nasema 15 because if only the 15 million out of the 18 million goes to vote, means that we can elect a good president. And I'm not saying that we focus on the president alone, because we can elect a good president in the bad legislation. So tukuwa na good legislators, that is MPs pia, means we can change.
Yeah.
So younger people pia, as we channel our energy kwa kutoa president, we channel our energy kwa kuchange the cabinet
because the
secretaries.
parliament is
Parliament iko na power.
it has power.
So we have to channel our energy pia kutoa watu. We have to channel our energy kwa kukuwa na the most representatives kwa MCA seats.
Yeah, that was what I'm saying, because now people sahi ungekuwa like the younger generation, tungekuwa tushasema you are interested in this seat, you've already started making plans, you have a party, so that 2027 isitupate tena tuko tu hapo, we don't have any representatives, because at the end of the day we need representatives.
We need them.
Yeah, we need
Mimi
representatives.
niko in a position to vie for a seat, and I know that I'm going to win. I'm going to vie.
Are you ever
But
gonna
I
vie?
usually say, Mimi, see, I'm not a politician. Mimi. And also, let me also tell you that it's our voice that matters right now. And it's up to our parents, wazazi wetu, to stop viewing us as immature and ready to lead.
True.
Manze.
They should stop.
Walikuwa wanatuambia si ndo viongozi wa kesho. Kesho imefika.
Kesho imefika by the way.
so,
We're the leaders of
tumengoja hiyo
today.
kesho sana.
Kesho imefika.
So ni sisi, nobody else. Please give us the chance to lead. Though I'm not going to be on the ballot, I have to say that again. Mimi, I'm not vying for any political seat.
You're not interested at all.
At all.
Politics
I don't know,
is a dirty game.
Siwezi sema I'm not interested at all, because you know what
Life
the
pia
future
changes.
holds.
Maybe 2 years is a long time. A lot of
2
things
years.
can change by then. By the way,
But for now, at
don't.
least I'm convinced I have to work on other things. I have to work on Ademba, because politics pia is nini. Politics ilimaliza Morara, ikamaliza Kasmuel, so yeah.
It's hard. So let's go back to 2024. Protests are done. June imeisha. Now life is back to normal. So I want you to take me back after Protest Zimeisha, and then now, a year later, in April 2025, the BBC documentary comes out. We didn't
The
expect it.
bombshell.
We had even forgotten
Hata
about the
hukuwa
protest.
unajua.
I didn't know, like the BBC, of course, we didn't know that there was gonna be a documentary. We didn't know it was gonna come. We had already forgotten the lives that were lost. Like people were moving on, and then this documentary drops on a random day on April 2025.
28th of April.
28th of April 2025, and then now the Kenya people watch the Kenyans watch the documentary, and then we're introduced to this hero. People never knew about Ademba Allans. Now the people watch the documentary, and now they're introduced to this hero. People are calling you a national hero. You're the one who was supposed to be celebrated. So tell me, how did it go? Like, how did BBC, how did BBC contact you? How did you feel at the moment? Like, yo, BBC, what the
Tulisign NDA.
for real?
No, tukusign NDA anywhere. But the thing is, it took a lot of
But
convincing.
did they contact you this year, last year? At what time did you record?
Last year, we recorded it last year.
For real? It was
Last
which month?
year, September.
Oh, that was a long
So
time.
by February, I think everything was done.
Ah,
But most people are not aware of that information.
people didn't know.
So last year tulifanya the documentary. Actually nilikuwa nimetulia tu Kibera with a friend of mine anaitwa Phil. Nilikuwa kwake, then these people called me. Actually
via
walipiga.
phone call.
Yeah.
How did they get your
And
number?
funny, that's now the problem. Hata mimi sijui. No,
How?
I know somebody who shared. Is actually, that's why I'm grateful to him. He's from TikTok, by the way. I think they reach out to him. It's called the news guy. If you've
Oh, I know him, the news guy.
So
Yeah.
the news guy gave them the number, my
Oh.
number, but hata yeye hakujua ni kitu legit. These people actually called me through WhatsApp.
For real. So I need to know, to BBC walikuwa representatives wa Kenya. Are they Kenyans ama ni
No,
BBC
they
yao?
traveled from BBC to Kenya.
Ooh, okay.
So they came. Actually, they saw there's a story nilipiganga TikTok that people never took seriously, but walichukua seriously. I just narrated what happened. Nilipost hiyo kitu on June 25th, the exact day. Nilikuwa nafanya internship at Ebru TV. So nilikuwa night shift. So nilikuwa hapo, nilikuwa night shift kwa media control room MCR. So nikasema simeboeka hapa after kuschedule hizo program.
Yeah.
So I just recorded a story, a full story of how things unfolded from morning. So from the story, because it is still fresh in my mind, it was still fresh in my mind. So when I recorded that story, it was like 3 or 4 minutes. I captured everything that happened within Nairobi CBD, the deaths, the nini, me carrying the bodies and everything. I uploaded it on TikTok. Yes, it did numbers, but nobody took it serious. So I think BBC waka reach out. They found it very impressive because the way I told the story and the fact that I'm a journalist, so I know how to put the story very well to get what the intended
Put it
purpose.
together. Yeah.
So it was just a story, a selfie, not just me telling the story. Then I put it out. BBC sees it. Then from my timeline, the things I was posting, I had the actual footages that I recorded myself, not somebody else. They also wanted those footages, to be honest. So yeah, they reached out. First of all, it was just about selling the footages. Then I said that I'm okay to give out the footages nini because I was not going to sell them. Hata ningekuwa nazo singekuwa nafanyia kitu sahi.
Yeah.
So just gave out the footages. Then they told me, they asked me the side of the story. And the way I narrated that story, it stood out because mimi niliona vitu first and sikuambiwa.
You are on the front lines, yeah.
And like most people, when walikuwa kwa the documentary, when you waliona from nini, they were not there, me I was there.
Yeah.
So that's how everything happened. And by February, March this year, the documentary was over. Just waiting for the right time to
Were
post.
they communicating with the updates?
We usually talk. The person who did the documentary is still a very good friend of mine.
Nice.
Like everybody from that team, we talk. And those people, actually, we just, at what na chat, we give each other's update. But we used to talk. Walikuwa naambia, documentary atoka day flani, then we push it because that day is not convenient. Something may happen in Kenya. Attention yote tashift huko. Then April 28th, that was on a Monday.
The bombshell drops.
Tuliangalia hakuna kitu. Actually, because it was to drop na we expected it would be big or it would not be big. So I traveled out of Nairobi just for safety.
Or before it dropped?
I traveled on
before
Saturday.
It dropped?
Before it dropped. I traveled on that Saturday. I think it was on 26th. I traveled before it dropped. Then Monday asubuhi ka drop. No, it dropped around 5. It was scheduled. But hiyo trailer ilikuwa ishatembea. You know how BBC do their thing. Ilikuwa ishatembea. Iko tu hapo inatembea online. Mi naiona. Actually hata surango iko kwa that trailer. So hata mi nasema, maybe siko kwa hiyo documentary and everything. but imefika around saa 3 asubuhi on Monday 28th. Naangalia pale ma phone calls zimeanza kuingia, so I know something is happening. Najua that it's doing numbers. I just knew that the documentary iko nje, watu wameiona. Somebody akaniambia, good friend of mine akaniambia, hebu ingia X. Napata niko pale X #Ademba trending. Iko around 6,000 tweets. So nika click, whoa, the people who are tweeting. Then I knew this thing is going to be big. And you also have to capitalize on the opportunity. Nikaanza kupena updates where I am, nini nini. Then Ademba the hero, nini nini. It became overwhelming. Hata mimi nilishindwa kucontrol what is happening. You know how that thing happened?
Yeah.
It happened. A lot of mimi was not ready for fame.
Mm.
And I have to say mimi sipendi fame. If you know me very well, mimi nafanyanga tu vitu zangu chini ya maji. But ilishafanyika, now we have to deal with it.
Yeah, so
And
the documentary drops. Now you're a hero. People are calling you a hero. People are concerned for your life. How did that make you feel? Like, what was going on by then in your head at the when it dropped,
the,
and then people are calling you a hero? What was going on in your head?
the thing
Like,
is, people instilled a lot of fear in me than even the government. Because uko
but you
safe,
can't blame them. You know the history of our country. You can't blame them.
people being
People was,
concerned, watu wanataka
personally, I
kujua
was
uko
even
wapi.
scared for you. Hey, Ademba, where are you?
Watu walikuwa scared. Some people were really really scared.
That
So,
which says a lot about our country.
Actually hata mimi nikafika nikakuwa muoga to the point that naweza kufa kesho. Actually mimi nilijua naweza kufa kesho. What happened to Albert Ojwang? Just a publishing through X yenye hatujaiona na akakufa. So what about Ademba?
What about you?
Just a normal person. I'm just there because of my voice. And through a little bit of intimidation, phone calls, fake phone calls, actually, private numbers, unregistered coming in. Nikajua nothing is going to happen because also nobody was aware of my location. The phone that I was using, aunge track location, it was a very different phone, not the phone that I'm used to.
Ulikuwa umejipanga. A real journalist.
Yeah, we really prepared for that.
Oh, I love
Then
it.
also wanted it to be a surprise. So by the time I was coming to Nairobi, I told
Things had
people that
cooled down.
narudi sijui nini, but wakashtukia niko Nairobi. And nikaingia hivi Nairobi, nikapigia Lynn Ngugi, nikafanya interview. That's when people say, oh, jamaa kumbe ako Nairobi.
Wako Nairobi.
Yeah, after the interview ya Lynn Ngugi, then nika escalate a lot of things tena. Yeah.
But being called a hero, how did that make you feel?
Okay, ni poa. Fame is good. Siwezi kataa. Like, people calling you a hero. But inaweza ku mislead because now nakwambia kuna kukua famous na kukua okay. Mimi ni wale among famous broke people, unaelewa? And that's what fame does.
Yeah.
Because fame imekuja overnight haita kusaidia. I was not prepared for it and everything. Compared to fame ya mtu kama Bahati and Diana, they have built it overnight. Not overnight, over the time. Zimekuwa nini. But mimi yangu imekuja overnight. Na mimi nakaa Kibera, sina anything nini. So, you are famous because mimi siwezi sema ati sahi I'm a rich guy venye watu contrary to what people think. Ademba is rich. Nimekwambia niko na 260 kwa M-Pesa.
Wakutumia za cabbage.
No. One thing with people sending you the cabbage, kuna point ilifika nika stop. When people send you money or when people give you something for free, now they buy your loyalty.
True.
Now you have to do
what
they want you to do. So that's why I say free is most expensive.
Cheap is
than
expensive.
Not cheap,
free,
but
free.
Free is most expensive than you buying something. Sahi hata kama ni kwa broke, if somebody sends you money on a certain agreement basis, but nilistop watu kukutumia pesa because mtu akikutumia pesa utaona ni free, but he buys your loyalty. Ukifanya something that they don't expect from you, then they're also in a liberty to cancel you, and that's where cancel culture comes, you see, because Kenya, we are at a level where cancel culture is that important.
And I
Look
don't
what happened to
support
Morara and Kasmuel. People sent Morara money, and the moment that they felt that Morara is not doing what they were expecting them to do, they cancelled Morara to the point that Morara akasema, I'm not going to do anything with politics again. So mimi nilisema enough is enough. Hizo mlinitumia ni sawa, but it's because I was not aware of what it would come with. But ilifika point kasema, no, I don't want the free money anymore. Because now people expect you to be doing something. People expecting you to be doing videos every day, and that is very draining. People expecting you kwa frontline kwa maandamano, bro. I love my life too.
Yeah, true.
So ilifika sahi hata kama nimesota ni sawa, mimi nimekuwa nikisurvive before that. And nikilemewa I can ask for help because we also have to be strong enough to ask for help when you cannot.
True.
But the moment you expect free money from Kenyans, ndio utakuwa umejikaranga, because by then watakuwa shabai your loyalty. If you do something contrary to what they expect, they are at a liberty to cancel you na usiwai sikika. And you see what happens to those people. Watu ni wengi. The same loyalty that people gave to people like Wadaglis. Si lazima wakulipe, but watu wakikuwapenda because ulitoanguka nayo, that help them go through Kasongo moments, then you go perform at Kasongo event. They cancel you. Nobody listens to those people right now.
Kama hiyo kenye imefanyia Toxic sahi.
Toxic ametoa ngoma Bad Flower. Mimi, because I'm a fan, napenda Toxic. The song is good according to Mimi, but you see ijafanya the way Backbencher did.
Venye alienda perform State House, sasa
Because
watu waka-
people expected him to be loyal to them, akaenda perform to Kasongo, si ndio? And I'm not saying, because artists have to survive, content creators have to survive, na pesa is a necessity, but sometimes look at the long run, because Wadagli sema hata walilipwa dongapi, I'm sure ita was sustained for the next 5 years. The same thing, angalia Toxic, I'm pretty sure bado ako kwa position ya kujisalvage, because is a person who is talented and I love his music. But Kenyans, by your loyalty and you go against them, you're going to be cancelled. And that's where I am very worried about the cancel culture aspect of Kenya right now. So you have to be very careful of what you do.
True. Hata venye umesema hiyo story ya creatives, hiyo story ya Toxic ya Wadaglis, tukirudi kwa politics, do you think artists ama creatives, they should have a side when it comes to politics?
Okay, mimi nasema hivi, and before last year it was good for you, ilikuwa sawa kukuwa na your side. Bahati ameperform kwa political rallies ngapi? Nobody cancelled Bahati. But that also circles back to cancel culture. Right now, if you perform at Okeo Mtata's event, if you perform at Maraga's event, it's very different when you perform at Ruto's event. Why? Because this is the most crucial time for an artist to stand with the oppressed than the oppressor. If you stand with Kenyans, Kenyans are going to support you than when you stand with the oppressor of Kenyans. That is President William Samoei Ruto and his regime. So let's say artist sai asimame aseme, I want to support President William Ruto, is honestly going to be cancelled. Angalia what Diana Cord is going through right now. Angalia. I don't think kama taitoa ngoma hit to the level that hii song yake kwena trend ikwentu aje.
But we all Kenyans. Me as a Kenyan, of course, I have my political standing. But why should artists and creatives not have their political standing? That's one thing I had an issue with. Like, kwani artists afai kuwa na their political standing, and then this issue that
inafaa kuwe nayo, but si kusupport Kasongo.
si kusupport Kasongo.
Umesikia msemo nasema usanii ni kioo ya jamii. Sahi sasa usanii ni kioo ya jamii zaidi, because Kenyans are being oppressed. If you stand with the oppressed, uko sawa. If you stand with the oppressor.
But I'm trying to think about it. Imagine now I'm Toxic. Toxic ni mse ameblow up sahi, si ndo? He was a struggling artist when nimewatch stories, nimesikia story yake. He was struggling, and then sahi, you know, as a umekuwa kwa hii industry. Alafu me as a creative, I know the struggle of being a creative, of being an underground artist, trying to make it out there. And then you get a call from maybe State House. The president wants you to perform on his event. Niambie tu Ademba Allans, ukipata that call right now, the president wants you to perform. Are you going to refuse? Are you going to refuse?
On the case ya Toxic as a case study? Have you ever asked yourself why it is Toxic Lyrikali who was called to perform State House, but not BN, not Calligraph Jones, not the people like Breeder, not any other big artist that is doing good right now? The people in government nakwambia daily that these people are very smart. That's why they go for the most vulnerable voices in the society. Toxic ametoka Islando na mimi nimetoka Kibera. We are both struggling people, si ndio? Akinikuja na 1 million anajua itakuwa ngumu mimi kureject. Na anajua vizuri itambuildia jina that nimeperform hapo, but pia najua wewe itakuumiza. So if they could have called BN angeenda, because BN is established. BN yuko vulnerable compared to this other
they use Toxic,
they go for the most vulnerable wenye wanajaribu kukama up. Trust me, hata wakipewa wangekujia mtu kama niseme aje, mtu kama Bahati, hata tushazoea Bahati alikuwa hapo na hayuko cancelled because yeye amekuwa performing those people, but mbona wakuendea the top most performing? Bahati ana ngoma sahihi, so yeye hata hakuna kitu ili affect watu, but waliendea toxic, hawakuendea bien. Bien sasa anafanya vizuri because toxic alikuwa na backbencher, bien akona all my enemies are suffering.
True.
Both of them are doing hivi, but they went for toxic mostly because toxic is the most vulnerable compared to bien and toxic, breeder, Major, those other people. Major has been in the industry for the longest time. He knows how politicians can manipulate you. And angalia kitu ilifanyika last year when mtu kama, that's why I'm telling you it's good to stand with the oppressed than the oppressor. When Bien and Breeder released that maandamano song, how well did it do? Hiyo ya maandamano until today it's still a hit because they were standing with the oppressed, not the oppressor. So yeah, sometimes just look at the long. Tell you nikwambie, if Toxic amelipua, let me say alilipua 200k 300k, si ndio? Hiyo ni pesa kubwa. Alilipua pesa mob and I'm pretty sure alilipua
300k state house ni pesa kidogo for state house, anafaa alipwe mita.
It doesn't matter where alilipwa, but hata kama alilipua 500k. Toxic ni mtu akisema naweka show hapa Uhuru Park and I'm only charging 300, itajaa. Na ifanye tena next week. But because he knew he was vulnerable na ana those insights, ataendea hii 500 Kenya nalipwa. And I'm not saying that alipwa 500k, any amount that alipwa. Yeah, so they go for the most vulnerable.
I get you. Wow, that was so sad. Anyway, after after all is said and done, how has your life changed since the 2024 June protests?
Public pressure.
And then the BBC documentary, and then being a hero, and then all that stuff. How has your life changed?
Public pressure. What wanadhani niko na do? Hisa nimevaa nilibai
Extra
500.
pressure.
Public pressure.
Public pressure.
So,
how do you deal with public pressure? Because it's a lot.
No, me I'm Ademba, and before BBC I was still Ademba. So I just continue to live my life. It's only that nilishi from Kibera sahi na Kasarani, but I'm still Ademba. Bado nimesota the way I was. No, so anikujie. Mimi hata nimezoea watu. But nishazoea like mimi nimezoea, mimi ni yule mtu maybe nitapata 1000 and I used it to survive the whole week. Mimi si kama watu wakubwa wenye mtu akona 300k nini. Mimi I'm still not that.
You're still surviving.
So I'm still just surviving as a normal.
How your life has changed, public pressure. Can you say growing up in Kibera prepared you for all these things?
Exactly, 100%, but that is a good one. Growing in Kibera ili prepare because hata hiyo ikiisha mi bado nitasurvive. Wacha niseme hivyo. Najua inafikanga point unashindwa hata kulipa rent, but bado najua tu how to maneuver around. So yeah.
After all is said and done, Mr. Ademba, can you tell us who do you think is the most ideal candidate for the 2027 presidential election?
I'm a journalist who's supposed to be neutral, but mi nasemanga if we could elect Okiya Mtata, Maraga, who else? Nikiongelea the top seats, that would be good. Because mimi I'm among the people who don't believe in the recycling of leaders. We have a lot of most competent leaders. It's only that we are used to the loud politics. We don't see leadership in people like Akina Okiya. So mimi Okiya and Maraga are the good candidates for me, and I'm manifesting. Utantumia poet, I'm manifesting interview Maraga and Okiya.
Clock it. It'll happen. So after all is said and done, tukimalizia, how did all this affect you mentally? How did you cope with it mentally? Because watu umesema wale walikuwa abducted, they're still fighting mentally. It's still affecting them. And you went through all these things. You're in the front line, and then you became a public figure, and then all that.
Do you remember when these 3 people were arrested for forming FBI? That is Patrick Osoi, Hiram Kimathi na Kop Shakur. Hii juzi. Nilikuwa nimeinterview Patrick Osoi just the days before, so tulikuwa tunaongeanga constantly with 3 of them. Hata nilikuwa nimeinterview Hiram pia. Na sikuwa nimeinterview tu Kop Shakur, so tulikuwa tunaongeanga constantly. Wananiuliza video inakuja lini nini things like that. So from that, my threats nilipata.
How do people get threats?
Phone calls.
So they have your number.
The thing is, from the government it takes just
kijana.
And trailing is the best part that you do. Trailing and tapping your phone. Because calling, you're threatening, you can record, so they don't go for that. But trailing and tapping your phone, listening to your conversation.
Trailing, they follow you wherever you go.
So unapata like just the other day tulikuwa kwa studio, somebody akatokea nini. Usichukulie sisi ni wajinga. This guy anatafuta ati agency ya kupeleka watu majuu. No, alikuwa anatafuta place ya kureplace simu but amekuja kwa media house bro, watu
So
si
they
wajinga. Then
know.
nikamfollow nikamwambia usituchukulie wajinga. Actually I confronted him na nilimwambia okay, unataka kutengeneza simu sawa, si ndio? Okay, unatafuta simu ya place ya kureplace simu. Hii
That is
building
scary.
niambie, because zimeandikwa hapo, hiyo building kuna place zimeandikwa vitu zinafanyika hapo, tell me kwenye kumeandikwa kuna phone repair. So they just trail, and it just take one missed call
And how
from
did
the
they know your
government to
location?
start trailing your phone.
Missed call?
Like they
How do
call you,
I'm more concerned how they get your number, and then how do they tap your
siko na
phone?
NIS.
How
So tapping phone ndio inakuelezea, it takes one phone missed call from them to tap your phone. Wanakupigia with a private or something number that you can't receive. And it's so deliberate, they just watakata. That means already wako na, and sometimes wakikupigia na receive, they have access to your phone. Umeona niko na simu kadhaa, so that's give you the reason. From that day that I got like 7 mysterious different phone calls from
before
and
uendelee, I want to know how does a mysterious phone call go? Unapigwa
inakuja, ona zile zinakunyanga
akusalimi,
private.
anaanza
eh,
tu kijana,
ama nakwambia tu hi, like they just want you to receive the call, that's all.
afu anakwambia mbona
Ama
amekucall,
wanakukeep kwa conversation for
au
2 to 3
wakitrack kama kwa
minutes.
movie.
They get 2 or 3 minutes just to get where you are.
Kama kwa
And if you very
movie.
smart, unaweza jua huyu jamaa is just anatafuta some bit of information. So yeah, hiyo siku hiyo wiki nilipitia, that's why nilikuwa na different phones. Hata sasa niko na different phones. Hii iPhone I'm pretty sure it is tapped. I'm pretty sure.
That is
So
insane. So
but
they
yeah,
see your
wanajua
messages.
kwenye tuko sahi. So yeah, it works,
Wanatusikiza.
but mostly because they think I was part of that FBI thing. I don't even know what the fuck that thing they do. Mima was just there. Those people venafanyanga to interview. If I see we ni mtu unafanya kitu, I'd love to have a conversation with you, I call you na hivyo.
Damn, that is scary. Like, in whose hands are we safe? In
Not
whose hands?
definitely not in the hands of Kasongo.
Definitely not.
And I'm mad when people say two time.
So
Actually last year, not last year, this year 25th, kuna mtu nilisaidia alikuwa amepasuka kichwa hivi. I can show you the clip, hata iko X. Alikuwa amepasuka kichwa, amepigwa hivi. Nilimsaidia. Only to find this guy yesterday akishout 5 term
hi.
pale
That
Kasarani.
thing inaniumanga mtu
Na
akisema
this guy
hivyo.
alipigwa akiwa protest. Actually hiyo video iko X na iko kwa documentary yenye a short documentary clip nilikuwa nilifanyia certain people, sitaki kusema
But
because
one hope I'm still holding on to is that our generation is different. They never forget. Please, I hope people don't forget. Our
yeah,
generation is
they
different.
never
They never
forget.
forget. And then we are smart, guys. Let's be smart. Finally, as we finish, what's your vision for Kenya? What's your dream for your dream for Kenya as a country? Because I was even looking at something and nika realize actually Vision 2030 is not so far. When we were young, we used to be told, tunakumbuka tukiwa wadogo
Vision
tulikuwa na
2030 actually ilikufa na Kibaki, I think so.
ilikufa, tuko naseliwa Vision 2030 hatukuwa ifikiria itafika, and now we're in 2025, we're like 5 years to 2030, and then is Kenya is still is that dream even is the vision still there?
No, actually my dream for Kenya is a self-sustaining Kenya. A Kenya where we don't have to be borrowing. Kuna a lot of people wenye nimekuwa niki-interview. Another one, the interview is going on air leo, Antoa Manase alisema that Kenya is in a place to sustain itself for the next
It is
forever, but we talk Kenya. So I'm just visioning a self-sustaining Kenya. That's to cut it short that way.
self-sustaining Kenya. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's show with Ademba. Final remarks, Mr. Ademba?
We don't elect this crooked. Don't vote for Ruto. And Ruto must go. And fuck everybody that is in the government. Hawa watu wazee hawa. Lazima waende home. Naweza tumia hiyo term hapa by the way. Nimekuwa nikitumia fuck.
Tumia, my podcast is free. Hapa si media
yeah.
bana.
So fuck those people who are in the government right now. Mimi, we should not vote for these people, and especially these old politicians. We should not vote Gashagwa. We should not vote Matiang'i hata for leo nikianza kuhesabia scandals zake, hata you people know, but mnadanganywa na 50 bob mndudhi pale State House and everything, and you now planning of, these are the same oppressors zenye tumekuwa nao. So let us look for a better Kenya 5 years to come. Let us look for sustaining Kenya. Let us look for a future hata we mwenyewe uko na kazi. Let us look for a future where mtoto wako anaenda shule afukuzi for school fee because hatuna free education.
True.
So sahi kama sahi hakuna free education, we are fighting for that for our children. Mi hata sina mtoto but naogopa hata kuzaa jamani.
Yeah,
But that's
man.
good. Let's fight for a better Kenya.
Yeah, you had it, folks. Let's fight for a better Kenya. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. Na hii episode tutaikumbuka 2027 by the way, we're even off air. We are talking with Ademba like we are exactly 2
Exactly 2
years
years. We are in
away
August.
from elections. We're in August. So guys, don't forget, man. Vitu tumepitia, the lives that we have lost, what we have been going through, especially as a generation fighting for our country, y'all. It can't all go to waste. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Your works, Kenya Unfiltered, with vitu kwa ground.
Vitu kwa ground for now is doing very good. Iko na good numbers pale YouTube. You can subscribe to YouTube Vitu kwa ground, and also across all social media follow Vitu kwa ground. But mimi personally, Ademba Allans across all social media platform. I actually have another YouTube channel where I'm going to be doing mental health na vitu kama hizo, Ademba Allans. But for now, please subscribe to Vitu kwa ground. It's doing very good. But I want numbers. Hata mi nikuwe monitors, nikule hizo pesa za YouTube.
Clips on YouTube. Anyway, that was all for today's episode. Hope you all enjoyed. And by the way, I'll be part of Podfest. Podfest is a podcast festival in Kenya. It's the second edition. It will be happening on the 6th of September. And I'll be on stage, you guys. You're going to be on stage. So check out the social media platforms, Podfest Kenya. Check out Unspoken Podcast KE. Buy your tickets. I'll be on stage and I'll be giving out 2 tickets
Moja ni yangu.
to loyal speakers. If you're a loyal listener of the Unspoken Podcast, kutakuwa na trivia questions. Hakuna kitu rahisi, man. You have to work hard. So check out our social media, Unspoken Podcast KE. I'll be running like a small Q&A. If you answer the question right, first come first serve, you get a ticket to the Podfest because I'll be on stage. Come and vibe with me. Unajanga kama mtu ashapiga sherehe na mimi, I'm vibes on vibes. So mkuje tupige sherehe on 6 September hapo Kenya Cultural Center Podfest. And yeah, that is episode 135. You remember, if you want to be part of Watch Unspoken Story, our series, check out also our social media platforms and click on the Google form link. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And remember, like I always say, your mind is your greatest asset. Remember to use it well. I'll see you on the next episode. Adios.